Recording now.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا إله إلا الله الرحمن الرحيم لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Salam alaikum, salam alaina, salam alaikum. To you, the individual, to you, the group, and to you, the Ummah and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the third edition of the American Muslim Journal, in which we're going to talk about the platform or the stage of the Islamic civilization, that it is necessary for all Muslims, especially the men and women who are adults, to establish their life, their property and honor upon this platform. What we're talking about is the Hijra. It is the Hijra which begins in Muharram and Safar, in Rabi Awal, Rabi Thani, Jumada Awal, Jumada Thani, Rajab, Shabin, Ramadan, Zul Qadar, and Zul Hijjah. And these 12 months, four sacred. Muharram is 1, Rajab is 2, Zul Qadar and Zul Hijjah is 3 and 4. And these 4 sacred months has always been sacred with the prophets and messengers, beginning with Ibrahim. And this is the first calendar that Allah Ta'ala had gave humanity. All of the calendars came afterwards. And in these 4 months, there are sacred days in these 4 months. In fact, we have 10 sacred days throughout the Hijra. Upon this platform, from Muharram to Zul Hijjah, it is important that the Muslims and the Ummah understand that the way you cultivate and eradicate disbelief and wickedness and rebellion is not necessarily outward, but definitely inward. So, if you understand the obligation of Kalima Shahada, which begins Amintu billahi makadibi husurihi yamikari sarihi beduhakun ashhadu sikrahu wa ashhadu Muhammadan abduhu rasuluhu. If you understand those 4 elements of the Kalima Shahada, you understand that you have given your honor, your life, and your property to Allah Ta'ala in the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam according to his sunnah. And his sunnah includes everything. His speech, his conduct, his behavior, his diet, his dress, his dislike, his like, his love, everything. This is Sunnah Rasulullah. So the Hijra expresses that from month to month. And the foundation of that expression is as-salat. Not only the prayer that is fraud, Salat al-Fajr, Zuhr, Asr, and Maghrib, and Isha, but also the Nafilah Salat. But it's important for us to know that if we don't celebrate our sacred nights and sacred days and do it in a public way, not only in a private way, but in a public way. I'm talking about whether you go to a recreation facility, or you go to a park facility, or whether you go to a library institution, or whether you go to a public schools, or college, university. You just don't set up association of Muslims without celebrating the sacred nights that are 10. Like our new year, Muharram 1. Everybody in that facility should know that this is your new year. You just don't secretly celebrate Ashura. How can you do that? How can you secretly celebrate Ashura? How can you secretly celebrate Maharij? How can you secretly celebrate the Mawlid in Rabi Awal? How can you secretly celebrate, the Bayrat, the night of Bayrat? How could you secretly set Layl Qadar in the month of Ramadan, Mubarak? How could you secretly celebrate such a glorious days, sacred days throughout the year? Publicly, we know about the Qurban and we know about Hajj. And we know that the beginning seasons of Hajj begins with the Umrah, possibly in Sawal, the first 7 days until Zul Hijjah. But how could you secretly hide a way that humanity can remove the insistence, love of disbelief? You can't hide that in your houses. You must go to the streets with it. You must go to the library with it. You must go to university with it. You must go to downtown with it. They must know that this is your sacred night, your sacred days, and there are 10. And Ramadan is not a sacred month. It's a blessed month that Rasulullah and the Sahaba Kiram embellished it. Ramadan has always been Ramadan. So these 12 nights is nights in which we establish the way of avoiding Jahannam and entering Jannah. So for those who don't know, Jahannam, of course, is the life of disbelief and chaotic life associated with the kuffars that we see and we hear every day, with the sirens running and the distortion and chaotic behavior that exists, and men loving men, women loving women. This is the life that leads to Jahannam, hellfire. And the life that leads to Jannah is the life by way of nikah, which is the institution of marriage. And it's a sacred institution that is protected during the Hijrah, from Muharram to Zul-Hijjah. And it's an institution that had to be taught from the children coming up. They should see the parents enjoying nikah as it should be. And there are mutual obligations in nikah. So we know that nikah is an institution that can be given to the state legislature or federal Congress. We don't give these rights away. They're rights that the word being non-negotiable. The matters that are the ibadah and mu'amala is non-negotiable. But our heroes in the past have said, like the Mujidi, according to his Maktuba, Imam Rabbani, says that we may give away matters of munakahat and yukaba, matters of civil and criminal matters, commercial matters. So, and we will abide by civil and criminal matters concerning any society or government we are living under. But matters that are muamalat and ibadah is non-negotiable, because they deal with the possibility of our child being a kafir or a mu'min as an adult forsaking Islam and becoming a renegade, a murtad. It's non-negotiable. We don't negotiate matters of nikah, of marriage and adoption. We don't negotiate these matters away, matters of salat 5 times a day, of salat al-jumu'ah, a tawbah, istihara. We don't negotiate these away. This is unalienable right of being Muslim and mu'min, and it's part of the obligation of kalima shahada. So when we look at what is around us, and it doesn't matter, there are approximately 190 governments in the United Nations. When we look around at these societies, what do we see? We see people who love disbelief, wickedness, and rebellion. Because they take 2 months that worship God and goddesses, like the word January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. These words pertain to God and goddesses. That's disbelief. And then even the holidays that they have pertains to disbelief. We don't attend Christmas parties. We don't attend Easter parties. None of the holidays that this society has, we shouldn't be participating in none of these things unless they want dawah. We could be a da'i and do dawah and give them la ilaha illallah. We could do that. But we don't go and give joy and passing out gifts during Christmas or Easter or New Year's or Independence Day or Labor Day. Those are not sacred nights and sacred days. We should not be participating in these days. And there's no government society that can force us to do so. As I said, according to our way, Allah Ta'ala loves us and hate the one who hate ibadah. Allah has said He created the human being and the jinn for ibadah. Ibadah is not worshiping the rabbit with having eggs. Ibadah is not worshiping the lidded tree, worshiping the Trinity doctrine, Catholicism. Ibadah does not pertain to homosexuality. Ibadah does not pertain to strafe and terrorism. That is not ibadah. Though I sympathize with brothers who are in a state of oppression, they'd rather death, than oppression. I feel for that, and may Allah grant them paradise. But what I'm saying is that you cannot expect the reward, the ajr of Allah, if you're condoning the life of the kuffars, if you're aiding the life of the kuffars, and you're undermining the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can only expect the punishment of Allah and the wrath upon your life by day and by night. So when you identify a need, a dependency, it's obligatory for you to fill that need if you have a responsibility there. It could be fa'in or fa'at kifiyah. So these matters is for the educated. And it's not necessarily a man's obligation. It's a woman and a man's obligation. It's an adult obligation. And it's part of being responsible and accountable to Allah Ta'ala way in Islam. So Allah told His Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, He said, this day have the kafiroons has given up all hope of your religion. Fear them not, but fear me. This day have perfected my religion upon you and have chosen Deen al-Islam as your religion. Do you agree with that? Of course you do. The believers, men and women, agree with that. So you cannot support other than this. You cannot give your life and your honor and your property to other than this. Certainly has to be haram. So you can't give kalima shahada and then take it back, unless you are a munafiqun. Now, I'm not saying that that one cannot sin. There are fasikuns. You could be fasiq. You could do error. You could do harm. But in a society that's based upon disbelief, is a society that make what is halal illegal and haram legal. This society of the 50 states USA. You're dealing with a legislature, a state and a federal legislature that support disbelief, wickedness, and rebellion. And this is how the power brokers and the profiteers exist, over disunity of humanity. We're not for that. We're not with that. And we know that Allah Ta'ala is the one who rewards and punishes. He gives and He takes. Like He gives life and He takes the life. So it is with the dunya. He gives the dunya and He takes the dunya. No one else gives the dunya and takes the dunya. No one else gives the life and takes the life but Allah Ta'ala. So why should you fear? Why should you fear anyone? In fact, if you fear shaitan, the shaitans, or the kuffars, you should question your iman. You should have no fear. Fear is not part of iman in performing and fulfilling ibadah. You should fear disobedience to the ideal of Sharia and the performance of what is required, especially the 33 frauds. And there are a total of 54 frauds. But you have to fear disobedience. And you don't have to consult an attorney every society you go in, every country you go in. Allah has created His religion and His society of Muslims with a just bias and prejudice and justly balanced. And during this hijrah from Muharram to Zulhijjah, you can go any society you want and you don't have to consult no civil attorney, tax attorney, or criminal attorney, unless you're doing business, of course. But you can go anywhere you want, and your conduct, speech, and behavior should be so high that everybody should say, oh, wow. Yeah, because we are the justly balanced community of people. Yes, that's what Allah said in the Quran. So when you consider the months and the years that the Kufars celebrate their holidays, even the days of the week is the worship of idols and divas and icons. Like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It implies idolatry. And the Greeks went so far, they have named a lot of the constellations as gods. So we live in a life where Dahab and Dar Salam has become one. But it doesn't mean that we have to forsake what is ibadah. It means that we have to study and practice Islam by day and by night with fierceness. And we're told how to deal with the kuffars. And we're told how to deal with the mu'minuns. So be very gentle with the believers, men and women, because the Ikhwan al-Muslimun is one. If there's injustice to a Muslim on this earth, we should feel that injustice. I leave you, I came to you. Wa alaikum salam wa alaikum.